understand this story, you have to understand that this is my island, and this is where I live on the island. Now, lots of people have told me I need to go to North Shore, which is located here on the island. To get there, you've got two options. You can go along this part of the coast where there's not a lot of buses that run, or you can choose to go through the mountains to Honolulu and then from there up to North Shore. So all in all, it was about a 3-hour drive. I did see a few interesting things on the way. There was this prison that I saw that had a lot of construction outside at the time. There was this pearl. There was a coffee farm. I didn't have the chance to go in any of them because it was such a long drive. I didn't have the time to stop, and the next bus probably would have been another hour. It took 3 buses to get here. I also saw this wall of trees, and it just reminded me of home because a line of trees. When I finally got to North Shore, I noticed that a lot of the buildings were specifically old-time looking, I guess. This postcard that I got from my coworker Amy, and I took it around with me and took pictures of everything with the card as just kind of a fun thing to send her. I went to this coffee shop, and it is the worst coffee shop on North Shore. I later found out from my classmate who lives here. The coffee was really, really bad. It's the worst coffee I've had on island so far. I would not recommend, but the shop was pretty cute. They had a back seating area that was more like open to the elements, so it was a little bit hot, but it was pretty cute. There was also a chicken that just walked in and made like one full lap around the room. I took a video of the whole thing. You're not going to see that because that's way too long. But I did find out that they have a bunch of stuff about that artist that I mentioned last time here, just all over North Shore. And apparently whales are just his thing. He just does whale pictures and whale things. I ended up going to get food because it was already like 2 o'clock. And this was actually my first time having pineapple since moving here, just because there'd never been a time to have pineapple. The fries were the most tiny stick fries you'd ever seen in your life. They were just non-existent. The burger was really good though. I also decided to throw in more videos of me actually being in them since this is supposed to be me in Hawaii. There's a lot of Snoopy stuff all over the island. I don't know why or what their obsession is with him. I would also like to explain that while going to North Shore, I brought my bike with me so that when I got there, I could bike around and like see the place. But I ended up not having time because of how long it took to get there, and I needed to get back before school. So after I got burger, I headed over to the bus stop, and the bus driver was very insistently telling me that I was not allowed to bring my e-bike onto the bike rack that they have. Mind you, I had taken 3 buses to get here, and they had all let me take my bike. And he was like, "You're not allowed." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then he repeated it again, and I was like, "I got you, I understand." And as I was standing there thinking about it, he repeated it to me again, and I was like, "Sir, I am not arguing with you." And then he called somebody on the phone and put them on speaker and was like, "Hey, we're not allowed to take e-bikes, right?" And the guy on the phone was like, "Yeah, you're not allowed to take e-bikes." And he was like, "See, the guy said it." And I was like, "Sir, I have not said anything to you. I'm not arguing." And I have no idea why he was being so insistent. So what I ended up doing was biking half the way back that other direction where you don't go into Honolulu, but instead you go up along the northeastern shore. And I biked half the way before my e-bike died, and I was just stranded beside the road. And then I waited for another bus to come because I figured if every other bus had let me, maybe the next one would too. And so I got a snow cone because there was just a random snow cone stand. I waited for the next bus. They let me, and I got to one town over from mine, and I had to switch buses, and that bus driver also didn't let me. So I ended up having to take an Uber from there. The reason I hadn't gotten an Uber in the first place was because it was going to cost me like $200 to get back home. But yeah, all in all, not the best experience. I'll probably go back to North Shore at some point, but I will not take my bike. I will be a little bit smarter about it. Also, I wanted to show y'all that this is my class where I do all my massage schooling. That's Lizzie. She wanted to do a little dance for the camera. I had to do a CPR class for massage school, and I had just received the cutest claw clip from Maria, and so I themed my whole outfit around it. I realize only now that I was showing you the back of the pendant. Very pretty pendant with that same white and rose design that the ring has, but it was backwards. This was also the moment where I realized how quickly my curls were falling out because I didn't have hairspray. But this is the claw clip. Isn't it so cute? Oh, I love it so much, but I themed my whole outfit around the colors. Before I headed into Honolulu, I went back to my favorite coffee shop and I got their strawberry matcha. It is literally the best matcha I've ever had ever. It was so good. This was me walking away from the CPR class actually, because I got there like 2 hours early and it was lunchtime and I was really hungry. And sorry if you guys randomly see this back and forth zooming, it's how I get my camera to focus. But I saw this sign that said to set, and they do a lot of filming here in Hawaii, so I just thought it was interesting that that was probably some kind of show. I once again snuck into a school. This was a college that was like right next to where the CPR class was held, and I was really hungry, and this college has a culinary program, I guess, and so they have a restaurant in this school, and I did end up going to the restaurant. It looked really, really cool, but they were only going to start serving food at 11:45 or 10:45 to 11, and my CPR class started at 12, so I did not go to eat there that day. I just went without food, but I'm definitely going to be back. I just saw this bird eating a worm and I was like, wow, look at that. I've never seen a bird eat a worm in real life. So enjoy the bird. But yeah, there was a dog park in between the college and the CPR class, and it was just such a random place to put it. There's just hiking areas around. That little baby on the table, I named it Molly and then decided I hated that name and then named it May. This was the first time I really got a video of all the like tall buildings in Honolulu. There's different areas where it's more so, but I just wanted to show that it is a city. I ended up going to Ala Moana Mall again just to get lunch, and on the way in there's this cute tea shop. I ended up getting one thing for Amanda Marie and then one thing for myself. But they had like the cutest teas and tea brewing sets, and this little tea book was adorable. Super expensive though, everything here is expensive. This was the tea I ended up getting, Amanda Marie, and would not recommend. Did not seem very good. I will try send a better one soon. But it was specifically a Hawaiian brand, and I liked the way the can looked. There was also specifically Japanese style teas and a few other specific ones. And then a bunch of these like cute little honeys and teapots and things like that. At this point I started to get a little shaky because I was hungry. This is the main food court in Ala Moana. For a while I thought it was the only one. I've come here a couple times. They have really good Korean hot dogs. I ended up getting some ramen here. I ended up getting the spicy ramen, which is the one in the center that I'll focus on in just a little bit. I would like to point out that my camera has like horrendous color quality, so a lot of the times I have it on color pop, otherwise it makes everything look really drained out, which is why sometimes you'll see like really, really bright reds and pinks. I changed the color quality a little bit so that I could show you the actual color of that little pink thing in the center. It was very pink. It just wasn't that pink. So if you ever notice the color quality changes like that, that's the reason. I'm just trying to make it look as accurate to the actual color things are. I also went ahead and got some ice cream. It was some sort of like mango sorbet with strawberries on it. I really don't remember, but it was pretty good. And then I went to go get some boba. This place I've gone to a couple times and it's pretty good. Also, there's this thing that they serve here and I've never seen anywhere else. It's called cheese mousse that they put on top. It scared me for a little bit, but I tried it and it's actually pretty good. This was me after I got home. I changed into pants before school, and then on the way home, it rained a lot, and I got soaked, and I was very wet and not nearly as cute as I was when I started the day, but that's okay, because it was the end of the day. Okay, this is for documentation, for setting up Lori's thing. Okay, so it's all messy. Obviously ignore that part because that's on me. So this area, that table used to be there, lengthwise. This thing used to be along that wall, and then right there was this. So I shoved this into here, shoved this here, and then I rotated that. Now the idea is that there's going to be curtains hanging there that'll corner it off. Obviously I have to make sure I avoid the fan, and we're going to have to be careful anytime we turn the fan on that it's not catching onto there. So that's an oof. But the chair finally came in, so it's going to go there, and then the curtains will be around. And then, yeah, this is the mess that was caused by moving everything around, so we'll see. Well, made a mess, but I finally got it out. Now I gotta build it up, because right now it's really short. Obviously, the point is that it has to be comfy, so... Sit in it. Sit in it. I got the curtains up. Had to make sure that the fan doesn't hit it. So, yeah, there's room. Okay. And then I have this hanging here, mostly just to cover the door, you know. And then I have little string lights that I'm gonna have to roll down, and then I'm gonna put the second layer in between it, so it kind of like, I don't know, mutes it, I guess. I think it'll look cool. If not, we can always reverse it. Why does it look black and white? This is stupid. Okay. Yep. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I hope she likes this. Okay. Just to show you guys, this is the street that we live on. This is the landlord's house and the garage, and you have to walk through the garage to get to where we live. This is a pretty common thing in Hawaii, where people just have like an offshoot room from their house that they like rent out to people. This is our little backyard and a clothesline that I hung up, and the grass here is really nice. This is just down the street from where I live, and I just really liked how pretty the clouds were this day. So I've tried Mexican food here in Hawaii twice now. This is the second time. The first time it was okay. It just wasn't great, but it was okay. This time it was disgusting. It was so bad. I got this Big Shirley Temple, and that was the only redeeming part about this restaurant. The chips and salsa were horrendous. I got a burrito, and it looks fine. It looks Mexican. No. Got a couple more Ala Moana things for you. There's gelato by Nordstrom. A weird pumpkin. A very shady looking Old Navy. Just the pretty upper levels. The box lunch had this emo looking llama. They had other llamas, all of whom had different haircuts. I just want to show you, this is the food market in like the bottom basement, and if you go out here, there's like a parking garage, and then somehow there's more shops down this like creepy looking alleyway. I walked down that way and I found one of those Korean snow cone places. Can't remember what it's called right now. Bingsu? That's not right. And then the further down you go, I ended up finding an Italian restaurant at the very end of it and some weird art piece. I later ended up going to that top story right there, and from there I could see some kind of social club or something. I put little hearts beside my eyes, and I thought it was really cute, but this is my ice skating outfit. You have to go ice skating in skirts because it's better. My bike got stolen, so I have to walk to the bus stops now. On the way I found this flower, and I put it in my hair, and then I was like, psh, I'm not gonna walk around with a flower in my hair, so I took it out. Took a better video of the Wailing Wall for y'all. It's bigger than I thought it was. This looks like a random truck stop, is the vibe this whole place is giving me, and yet there's an ice skating rink here, so that was interesting. There's a little kid's birthday party going on here, and the music was amazingly very 2010s. I wanted to show off my little spins for you guys, so you guys get to see me spin. And then this lady came by and complimented my skirt because it's great for spinning. This is Lizzie. Y'all met her earlier. I also wanted to show off my backward skating, so boom, you guys get to see all my skills. Lizzie was actually really good at ice skating. She just fell every time the camera was on her. But she was on the phone with one of her friends and she called me her friend from work. So that means I officially have a friend. So for all of you guys who are like, Stephanie, are you gonna make any friends? I made one. I don't need any more. I actually had to walk significantly far from the ice skating rink to the first bus stop, and it was really tiring, and I ended up like on the side of a highway because that's just what happens. Lizzie wanted to go surfing that day, so she headed back to North Shore, and I ended up going to Ala Moana to do an escape room. On the way, I noticed they have a post office in the mall. Random dry cleaner. I also visited the second food court in the mall that's significantly smaller, but it just seems nicer, and I thought The Spot was a funny name. They also had one of those ramen shops where you like walk through the cloth. I ended up eating there at one point. It was a little bit too salty for me. I also wanted to point out how weird this mall is, because this looks like the end, but you turn and there's like this half floor down ramp that leads to nowhere, and this mall is really weird. That's what I want to point out. I would also like to point out that the way the escape games work at this location is that anyone can join any escape room if there's room. So if I went to one and it was able to fit 6 people and I went by myself, 5 random strangers could also just join in that escape room. I ended up with 2 strangers. We did win. It was like the coolest escape room I've ever seen. It was like really amazing, actually. 10 out of 10 would recommend. My classmate gave me a coconut. Look at the holes. See, I feel like I'm doing this wrong. I feel like if I was gonna do this, I should like cook it? You know, like it's technically raw fruit. I almost feel like I should like put it in like a little kettle and like just like simmer it or something, or like there's a bunch of little particles in it. I feel like I should like strain those out. It's not bad, not gag worthy. Compared to how much I hate coconut stuff, this isn't bad. I have no idea. I'm gonna ask my classmate if I should like do anything to it before I drink more. Yeah.